Hello everybody, today is Sunday the 8th of March and I just wanted to start this vlog because I'm about to finish the sewing of the bags. Here are all of them that I need to turn around. Those I still need to sew together and I'm doing it like this. I am working through this pile and then I pile up because this is the same color of that one. So I sew on that. But as soon as I have colors together, like I'm waiting for this white to go on that pile, and then there's another one, and then I sew all of them together that have the same ground color. So there is, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left to do the bag and the putting it together, and 2 more. So that's 7 to go. And I'm very glad when that is done because my neck hurts and then I can put my sewing machine away. Yesterday I thought I'm looking forward to that, and then I remembered I wanted to have an own bag for myself and an own bag for myself. So I did that at night. I had parts of it prepared. This one is a different size than the others I made. This is a bit larger in the height. Higher. Okay, and I did that in 2 hours and I was very surprised. I started at 10:30 p.m. and was finished at 12:30, and then it was like in a dream. I mean, I had to do the steps. I didn't like doing the steps. I never liked doing the steps. I like the result. Yeah, but then thinking back, I was just surprised it was already done. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make French fries later because I deserve it. And I want to show you, I have one pica plant. So I put them outside. Well, there's neighbors outside right now, so I don't want to do it unless I do voiceover. Okay, so here's nothing and nothing, but here I added carrots and turnips, cabbage turnip. There's one, or is it not there? Okay, that's the first one. And then over here I just put some more grass and things, and they are sprouting a bit, but they're hard to see. Okay, because I want the wortels, the roots, to go in the earth. It's a Gründüngung, a green fertilizer, and then I take it off and then I put in radish and beetroot, and yeah, those are my kitchen spices. They will go in here. And I did clean out this one, the big one. That is where onions, the cabbage, turnip and carrots will go, and that was very sad. Also, I'm glad it's gone. It was the reminder for Tilly. When I was doing it, I didn't think of her, and I'm glad that I didn't. And I'm glad it's not there anymore. It was always sad. It always felt like she was still there. So, and I just had lunch. Breakfast. It's 12. I'm hungry. I had a tiny muesli. I want to have thing today. What? Schnitzel pommes frites. So I have vegan schnitzels like those and French fries, but I also have some more. I started cooking with beans. It's very cool. So I'm soaking beans overnight and then I'm cooking them for an hour and then I add them to something. And 2 days ago, what's today? On Friday, I made chickpeas, chiches, Kichererbsen. We call them giggle peas. I cooked them separately and then I cut up some carrots, courgettes, zucchini, and fried that a bit, added couscous and then the chickpeas and curry. And this is my pan I can heat up. And I just love it. It's so easy. And I can buy a pack of Kichererbsen, white beans and kidney beans. And the cool thing about it is it really is filling and also satisfying. stills the hunger. So they often say that very healthy bread is lasting, so you're not hungry as quickly anymore. But that never worked with me. But with beans fill up, and you're not hungry anymore. And at some point you want to eat something, but you're still not hungry. So that is very cool about beans. So I'm gonna eat more beans.
A few hours later.
Done. I actually finished a few hours ago, around 2 p.m. and took a nap after that because I really had to push through the last bags out, but I just wanted to finish it. And now got my table back. I could put that aside. I can put those back. And also over here, got my table back. It's now Monday morning and I've been trying to do some correspondences or something. Just things I haven't done. And then I had to sign into my accounts again on my computer and verify it by another device. And then I saw my devices died, so I needed to figure out another device. And by the time I'm signed in, I forgot what I wanted to do in my email account. And then I just thought about how that will be when you get older with the digital world. So it was better having it analog, like paper and stuff, because you still had the reminder there what you were about to do. And with the digital things, when it's gone, it's gone. Also, I can retrace it, but I don't know how that will be when one gets older. Okay, I have seen that more plants have peaked out, are peeking out. Und zwar haben wir hier schon ein ganze Büschel von, was ist es, Kohlräbli. Ja, und da innen, da hat es auch etwas, ein paar Gräschen, die rausschauen und so. Schön, eh? And that was not my dialect. That was Bern or something. A büschel. A büschel kohlräbli. Whatever. Sorry. Okay, and yesterday I did way too much. So I finished all my bags, the sewing part, and then I took a nap. And then my sister came over for things, still doing paperwork. And then I replicated this card, and I'm gonna do it with you too. You can open it like this, and then that peeks out down there. So I want to do that again. And then I also did this thing. This is normal. This is a box like this, a paper tissue box. And I spent yesterday night putting those things in. It's going to be for my seats, so they can seat in here, because they're in the box here, piled on top of each other, and I don't like that. And then I could also have them in compartments, like with seasons, or what I actually have outside and what I don't have outside. Yeah. Genau. Okay. It's now 20 to 11 p.m. and I have prepared stuffs to make the card I just quickly showed you before. And I did it very clever. When I made the other card, I prepared things for this one as well, so I don't have to figure it out on camera, just a bit, not all of it. Because when I make a card, it's very hard to make a tutorial because I go as it goes. I have to make it work as I go along. So, but should be a bit better. So I got my tea, I got the card to show, I got all my stuffs ready. Ah, I forgot the ink. My ink, got some tangerines left. Okay, now I should have everything. Okay, and go. I do hope it's light enough. Yeah, I'm trying my best here with my bad eyes. So there you don't see it here. Smoosh. Okay. So this is the card. When you open it, you will have this peeking out and there's pop-ups on it. And the trick with this card is you have two card bases. One is a bit shorter and you glue them together, the shorter one on top, and when you open it, the longer one, which you cut a bit, will slide out. And this card I made with leftover card pieces, because I make a card base and then sometimes I have a weird leftover piece, and I just took two and put them together and did it like that. But this time we start from scratch. So I'm starting with a normal A4 piece. And again, I'm not so good with measurements because I just try to make it somehow. And I try to make it work with this normal A4 piece of paper. So I want to make a top fold. And I use this to make the outer and the inner card itself. So with this heart, I have the middle of the card. And I can just score it in the middle. And when I take half of that, that will be wider than this one. So I'm gonna cut it a bit smaller. It's about, what is it, 3 inches. It's about 9 centimeters. 3.5 inches. But you can do whatever size you wanna do. I'm taking 9. And another 9. Now they should have the same width. And now I take 1 and I cut about 1 inch. I noticed here I made it a bit bigger. In the back here, you see this part is a bit bigger, but I think it's better when it's not that big. So 1 inch is fine. About that much. Okay. And now I have them already ready. I will glue them together here, but I do that by the very end. So now I have those 2 cards and they line up when it's closed. Now to the mechanism. So I will have them flush on top and then I just put them flat. Now I see how much will get out of the card, of the larger card. I just make a little line here. Now there's a bit of an improvised part because you don't need that line. But you know, you need at least that much cut off on the sides. And then I just go a bit further because I want to have this glue flap, also this flap here on the back. And when it's open, it needs to be, this part needs to be cut a bit more, not just that part, but also a bit more here. And, well, maybe I try to make it, I think 1.5 centimeters, which is 1/2 inch on both sides. And I go a bit higher than that, kind of nearly double that size. Maybe make a line from here to here. And now I do this line. A T-ruler is handy. You can also use your scoreboard or something. And now, oh, maybe. Okay, this. And that. And now I need to cut off that part. Okay. And what bothered me with my first card, this one, are those corners. I didn't have them round and they poked me a bit when I opened the card. So I just want to have those rounded. Round them off with my scissors. And I can only make a nice round from one side, so turn it around, do the other one. And I take a corner rounder for those ones. I think it's just nicer when it's round. Taking the L size. So. Okay. Now we prepare the rest of the mechanism. For that we have a lot of pop-ups to do too. So I want to have the flap here. And I can use one of those strips I cut off. And I just fold over the edges. So just score a 1/4 inch on the side. It just needs to fit around that thing. Okay, so, and then it could be smaller. I mean, you could also have it like really hugging the tab. So mine has a bit give, then you can make it smaller. Maybe I should make it smaller. I'm not making it smaller because I'd rather have some wiggle room. And then I glue it down on the smaller part. See, it already gets a bit chaotic. And I just put it a bit from the edge. Yeah, maybe like that. But I need to check if... I make it a bit smaller. It's too wide, I think. Okay, you can check it when you put them up again. Also make them flush. And now you see this much space is there. So the wide one would have worked too. But when I put it here, it doesn't interfere with the mechanism. There's still space. Okay. Let me take one of those strips. Because I don't want to glue it shut. So. Okay. Let it dry a bit. And like on this card, I want to have this altar peek out. And there's a saying on it, Du hast Geburtstag. It's going to be a Juhu, Juhu, Du hast Geburtstag. So it goes together, the sentiment. So I need to stamp the Du hast Geburtstag. Not that we forget that. So I'm taking my stamping tool. And I have this from Create a Smile. They have a lot of German sentiments. And I just put it all the way down to the edge. So. And stamp it with Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink. So that was 3 times. And now we have the smaller card with a thingy, the sleeve, and the bigger card with a cutout and the stamped sentiment. Now we don't need that for a while because we're gonna focus on the inside of the card where we want to have those pop-ups. We want to have one layer in the back with a wave, and then 2 altars that come up in the front. So that is that. So we need to make some pop-ups. So one way one could do that for the hind layer with the waves, I could cut into the card, pop this out on the inside and glue it on there. Or I can make an insert and put it in there. So with the last one I tried doing that. It was a bit fiddly, so I don't want to do that on camera. But I'm going to take the leftover strip, which I cut off the side from the card we just prepared. With this one also I made a very small one because I used leftovers. This is just a 1/2 inch cube. And that is a bit flimsy then on top here. So I want to make it a bit higher. And with all those pop-ups, they are very easy. Take a small measurement, a big measurement, then the same small again, the same big again, and a glue flap. But I already have a score line here in the middle. So I'm taking 2 centimeters for my small measurement. That's how far it comes to the front. Now I do have it on the wrong side again. Oh, crazy. That's a 2 centimeters. And I want it to be a bit high. So I'm taking 1, 2, 3, or even 5. 5 high. So, and then again 2 centimeters. Oh no. And maybe another 5 fit. And then I have 1 left over. That is fine. Okay. I cut off the rest here. And if I now fold this, I think it would be about 3/4 inch, 2 inches, maybe a bit less, 3/4 inch, 1 3/4 inch, and 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. I don't know. But in the end, you have a cube like this that lines up. And I glue that together by putting some glue on my glue tab thing, the smallest one. And then close it up. Also bend it the other way, just to have it working. And it's important that it doesn't glue together. And then you have the pop-up for the thing, which will go in here, like in the height, like this. And we will have the waves on there. Now I want the one otter to come quite far to the front. And you need to pay attention to the measurements of your card. When I close it now, the otter is not allowed to peek out on top. So if you lay the otter down and your thing you have there, now I made that bigger. So if I have this here and I have a leftover from the last one and I put that in the front of it, and then I take my otter that I want to have there and I lay it down, then it fits. So I could make it a bit bigger, because I like it when it comes very much to the front. I make it a bit bigger. I'm just taking 1 centimeter as a glue flap, and then I take this size of that one, make it 1 centimeter bigger. I'm gonna try. So I have 1 for the glue flap, then I take 5 centimeters, and then it doesn't need to be high. I take another 1 for the height, another 5, and another 1. Okay. And I make the glue flap a bit shorter. And then I bend it. Put a little glue. And close it up. Like this, and also the other way. Okay. So that's the big one. And now I need 1 more for my other otter. And maybe that's long enough. Maybe. Ooh, that might just work. Taking 1 centimeter for the glue, for the glue flap. And then I make a cube. I take 2, 2, 2, and 2. So that really just works out. That's very cool when the leftovers are just enough to do that. It doesn't matter how you fold this or where you fold it, it will line up at the right spot. So I put on glue, but it's just easiest when you have it in the middle. I could also have it here on the end and close it up, but it's just a bit harder. So then in the middle. Okay, I don't know if you saw anything. And this is the last pop-up. Now we can start the decorating. I found some patterned paper, which looks like a sky, and I cut it to the same width as this. It does not have to cover the whole background. Okay, when we glue it on, we need to pay attention not to glue it on this part. This is the bottom part, this is the top part, but also not on this one. Okay, so I will have this one here, and we will have some waves in here, so we don't need to cover the whole background. A bit more than half. So I glue this on. And then we glue on the the big, isn't that one? The high pop-up mechanism for the background. And we just put glue on 2 sides and then glue it right in the middle, close it up, and just pay attention that it's in the crease. So I'm taking not the part where I glued them together. I want to have that on top because I always feel like it's getting so crowded in that corner. Okay, well I hope it's sharp. Okay, so putting on glue. My glue is very, very fast drying. It's a glitter glue, something. Art Deco art glitter, something. So, oh, now I nearly did it wrong. The long side needs to be on the back, so I'm putting it to the crease. And then I just close it up, open it, and then I can still wiggle it in place so that it's really nicely in there. And close it again so that it's nicely in the corner. Sometimes I also take something to help me with that. Yeah. Then we can add the background. So for the background I took a panel which was like this, and I just made it. I had a piece left over. I made 2 cards and I cut it in half. It's a bit wider than this because I didn't want to be precise at that moment. And then I put on my wavy dies, border dies, and just cut one out. This is the front one, and this doesn't matter. It's gonna be in the back of it. I tried to get as much out of the paper as I could. And then I can check how high I want this to be. I think this looks fine. There's also going to be a sun peeking out. Could be a bit shorter. Okay, so I'm going to add it like this. Let's just mark it on the back where I want to glue it together. I also want to add, I do have those CC Design otters. They're adorable. And I have colored 2 of those. 2 of that. And this one. So that is already ready. And I want to put one in the top here, a bit under the wave, like this. And I can just glue that on there. So try to remember where I put it. Right there. Hang those up again to see. Yeah, maybe there. Okay. And now I can put glue on here. We see where it goes. So I can just glue this on. But I want to turn this around. Match it with my lines. Okay, like that. And now it's too wide, so again, before I did cut it beforehand, but we can do it later on too. We can see we want to have the otter. I just take the other part just for measuring the size. I want to have the otter in the middle. I actually put it on here. It's kind of handy. And then I can hold it, turn it around, and just cut off the sides. Okay. Cute. Now we have it on the right size, and we can just add glue to here. And add our thing. You want to make sure that it's flush with the edges. I don't know if that's the right word. So I close it And maybe I can wiggle it around here a bit. Also, always when you close it, it goes up a bit. It makes a little, like a millimeter down here, because it needs that room to move around. Like down here, you see there's a tiny line. So I can nearly put that thing through. It needs that. You can put it flush or into the corner, close it, and it always goes up a bit. So, and when it's kind of straight, then you push it down. Okay, now we have the first mechanism working. And it's very well supported with that big pop-up. I can also put the sun already, or at the end. I don't know. Okay. Now we'll have a pop-up here, which we add to the waves, and a pop-up here, which we also add to the waves. They're a bit too wide, so I'm gonna make them a bit shorter. And all those leftover pieces I can still use on another card. It's kind of fun to have those somewhere. Maybe not that, it's a bit too thin, but yeah. Okay. Now I need to put them aside, or I used the wrong ones. So I just shortened, made it a bit less wide, slimmer. Okay. Then I want to figure out where I put them, because I want to have this one. Oh, it might not work. It might peek out. I want to have this one here, and the other one a bit in the back. I just think it's fun to have them on different levels popping up in the card. So I just try to see from the front where I want to have them. It's a bit hard. Okay. But I don't think it matters that much. Maybe do that one first. Okay. So I put glue on two sides. And I put it in front of this. Push it down. Lift it up, and then still see if I can push it closer, or if I need to straighten it or something. This looks fine. It's here. And it closes. Okay. Put it on. Okay. And then the other one on the other side. So over here. Here. Push it down. Open it and make it nice. It's nice. Cool. Push it again. And wait for it a bit to dry. So we have those two pop-ups and the background. Cool. Now I want to put on this one. And with those things, again, when you put them all the way on the base thing, then it gets a bit stuck. So it needs to be a bit higher. It needs to go 1 millimeter up. But it does it by itself when you have liquid glue. When you close it, it always slides up a bit. There's something to remember. And I'll check if it's all covered. It's basically nearly covered. So I put glue on here, just not the bottom part because it's not covered there. Then I put my critter on. Now I have it nearly all the way down. And when I close it, it goes up a bit. And then I see if it's straight or not. So, close it again to see. That should be fine. There's a little space under the feet of that. He needs that room to go down and up. Okay. Huge. Now the last one I have seen when I put it here and it goes down, it might stick out on top, but it might not. I need to test it again. I'm gonna cut it a tiny little bit on the bottom. Maybe just that white line. Just make it a bit shorter. So I amputated a little bit on the bottom. And then I put glue again on here. I've got glue there too. Just not on the further downmost bottom part. And one would think it would be better in German, but I'm even worse in German with those descriptions. Weiter unten. Maybe that would have worked in German. Unten und oben. Down and up. Okay, it fits. See, when I close it, it just fits. It does not stick out. Okay, so now we have it like this. Needs to really dry. And I want to add the sun. I just put it here. Let it stick out. Or there. I never put that in the middle. I always had it to the right, but yeah, that's true. I can also have it a bit higher and cut off the I can do that. Cut off the rays a bit. So I'll put glue all over. And then I add it there. So. And that is the inside done. With a triple pop-up mechanism, which you can really customize. It's very cool. Okay, I wait a bit till I cut that off. So I put it to the side, and now we do the front panel. Also, I will add the I always want to say it's a beaver, but it's an otter. I think the whole thing sticks out. And I just put it as close to the sentiment as I can. And maybe we need to put some acetate over it or sellotape so it doesn't get caught when it gets retracted into the cup. But we'll see. With the first one I had to put some sellotape. And the second one, because I found that I have those die cuts which make a rounded edge, I didn't have to do that. But with the first one I had to put a little sellotape here on the top so it gets covered so it does not get caught when this closes up. But we will see. A lot of talking. Okay, now we have this one left, and I got this from Lawn Fawn, the stamp collage thingy. And I've already prepared this. So I die cut this one out, and then I just cut a piece that would fit in here. And with the last one, I see it does not. It doesn't. Okay, I need to cut a bit tight. I want to have an even edge around, even white. Okay, like this. Now I have an even white edge around it, so I can just glue this on. I also stamped this Yoo-hoo. That's from the Create a Smile stamp set, and I did emboss it. Because I already did that with the last card. Okay. I put it on here with an even edge around. Hopefully. Then I add my last otter. Just like here. They're so adorable. And the cool thing here, I have a little glass where I put my glue upside down, and like that it does not dry out because it kind of covers it. From in here, there's a lot of glue in there already, and that covers the tip of it a bit. I have talked a lot now. I notice my mouth getting tired. Okay, now this is the front panel. This is what you see. So this one comes on here, goes on here, and as my measurement of the card is so long and this stamp is not so long, I did put a strip with the other card, a whole strip behind, just to fill it out a bit. And with the last card I used this paper. Now this is too short to do all the way, so I can cut it apart because it doesn't need to be covered in the middle. I just glue it on here. Try to aim for the middle. This is a Lawn Fawn paper pack. A very, very old one. But they made it again at some point. Oh, I hope the Dandy they make that again. The paper pad with the dandelion flower things. Pusteblumen. I love those. I just didn't put enough glue. And then I cut off the rest. Same on the other side. Well, hopefully it looks like the strip is straight. Ah, maybe. Okay. Cut off the rest. Now I add this on here. You could put it on the other side. Try to middle it nicely. Kind of like this. Okay, now all we need to do is glue those together. Oh, cut off the sun rays. Ute, nearly. Okay. Now this is on the outside. And this will be on the inside. Now we can test it. We put this through the flap. Okay. Then hold it together where it goes. Oh, I'm gonna turn it around. So this will pop up down here. And it closes, so we don't need the sellotape. Okay, so all we need to do is put glue on here. And with the first card, I did that at the very beginning, and then it was so annoying to do the pop-ups. So gluing that together at the end is way better. Okay, now it needs to be flush on top. You can also glue it together and then put that in there. That works too. Okay. Let's make it straight. Good. Okay. Here we close it. And ta-da! Juhu! Du hast Geburtstag. Maybe I zoom out. And it goes quite effortless. Okay, I can show you a few other examples I made. I don't know if I've shown you that already. That was the first one I did. It's with the capybaras from Impronte d'Autore. And then there's the little capybara coming out. Also with this one sits on a high one. Like this. And here also I made a bigger distance here. Which I thought might be cooler, but it's not. Also behind this capybara there's another pop-up, so it is a bit in the front. It's not on the background. So you can make whole landscapes with those. And that's the back of this. Yeah. Then I thought maybe it's fun when it pops out on top. It is fun, it just doesn't work so well. So I just turned it all around, but then you need to add another thingy. So this one opens like this, but it doesn't open well. But there's skunk coming out. It's fun, but it doesn't work very well. But just I added this flap in the middle. I did the same with those butterflies. And I thought it might even be fun when acetate pops up. There's the acetate. And 3 layers of garden stuffs. Yeah. Also, yeah, but... And I added the acetate there. So, that was just an experiment. Doesn't work so well, unfortunately. This works very well. Okay. Now I'm done. Yeah, I don't get the video shorter, so I'm sorry for that. But if you want to see a shorter video to that card type, I will link it in the description box below from the Sam Calcott, the Mixed Up Crafter or something. Yeah, I'll link it. That's where I have it from. And now I thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one.